Hello, ladies. Happy Saturday. I want to apologize in advance for not responding to some of the issues mentioned here earlier because my goal is to develop a consistent connection with you. I've been working on debugging the website, but excuses aside, I want to be more consistent. That's my goal. So today I want to talk about some of the issues I have written down here based upon the feed and some things that have come up. I think I'll talk about menopause. That was something that's kind of come up with Karina and Denise mentioned it. And all of us at some point in our lives will have to experience it as part of the cycle of life. I know with me, I'm on the other side of it right now. And when I encountered it, I think initially for me it started with slight weight gain. My clothes, and I've never really had an issue with weight, but I noticed my clothes were a little snug. But I had not realized early on that that's the reason my clothes are snug. And I did a deep dive and I just Googled how to lose weight, and intermittent fasting popped up. And I also noticed it wasn't just about a little bit of the weight gain. I just found that I wasn't my go-getter self that I normally am. I'm a doer, always on the go. But I found myself becoming a procrastinator, just lazy. My to-do list was endless. And I just didn't like, and I was tired. I think that was a combination of me putting on a little bit of weight, and I was just tired. I lived close to my job where I was working at the time, and if I had a break in the middle of the day that was longer than an hour and a half, I'd bike home and take a nap. And I mentioned it to my father, who works in healthcare. He's a pharmacist, and he says, that's not normal for someone your age. And I think I had just, how old was I then? I think I was I was about to turn 50. It was before my big 50th birthday party. And I Googled how to lose weight, and I happened upon intermittent fasting, and I reached out to a cousin because she had posted some before and after pictures. And then I wondered if what she had done, and I reached out, and she said yes, and gave me a playbook, books to read, things and podcasts and Facebook groups to join. And I read the books because I'm about knowledge is power. And I feel like the more I know, the more likely something is to stick. And if you're interested in learning more about it, just let me know. Anyway, it worked for me. It worked wonders. And it worked in that the weight did go away. The weight problem went away. I got my energy back overnight. Within 24 hours, I felt like I was Energizer bunny. My kids almost didn't recognize me with my energy level, but my sleep was still off, but I was under the impression, I was like, wow, intermittent fasting's going to fix everything, because when you're doing intermittent fasting, especially when you have an extended fast, something was called autophagy takes over, where you're healing on the inside. Your body's basically eating itself, eating those problematic cells, preventing things. So I figured that intermittent fasting would cure it, but I realized that it wasn't. And I started doing a deep dive, and I discovered hormonal replacement therapy, which I posted on there. And I also put a Google Doc in case people want more information. And I got tons of studies, and I turned that into a readable Google Doc because it's a lot of information. And the important thing is, also is that if you go to your doctor, because you have synthetic hormone replacement therapy, and then you have bioidentical. In the States, I think the go-to for most doctors is a synthetic, and that one is a no dice, non-negotiable. Don't because that's the one that's linked to cancer, and it's synthetic. I mean, why would you want to put something synthetic in your body? Versus a bioidentical is plant-based. And honestly, like I did my research, and I talked to my father about it, because he's a scientist also, and I'm close to him. And we looked over the information. It was more like, why wouldn't you? So I did it, and honestly, it changed my life. I could sleep. And I also noticed before I started, I noticed that my hair was just starting to thin a little bit. And then it seems like with the hormonal replacement therapy, that stopped it. And then it kind of, I mean, we're all going to age anyway, but it kind of slows the clock. And a lot of women our age, you start to get this line more pronounced. And I see a lot of women my age, it just seems like they age overnight. And it's because they're the hormones, they're depleted of hormones. So that's something you want to look into. But something I also learned listening to this one podcast, intermittent fasting podcast, they talk about a lot of stuff. That's something I didn't know. Most people would think, oh, you go to your OBGYN to get information on hormone replacement therapy and the information. But in fact, OBGYNs are more, they're like trained more on the surgery aspect. They're not really trained on the hormonal aspect, about hormones and all that. So they actually don't have any knowledge. So I think what I recommend is trying to seek out a functional doctor. I have some recommendations, people who work, I guess you could just people in the States, and if they're not near, you can do it, I guess, maybe a Zoom call. But I think functional medicine is something you need. But it's changed my life. And also the one thing though with the fasting that did help with the menopause was that because I fast, I mean my sister Charlotte kind of laughs at me, but because I fast, I can pinpoint right away the impact that food has on my body. I kid you not. I can pinpoint it, and I know how certain foods affect my body. So I know that going into it. Like for example, I love bread, but I know that when I eat bread, that I'll have a crash. I'll crash. I'll be really tired. I'll be fighting to keep my eyes open, so my blood sugar crashes. So I know that. So I just try to, and same thing with pasta. I love pasta, but I know after I eat it, within an hour, I'll be fighting to keep my eyes open. So that's me. That's something that I was able to pinpoint with my body. And that's the beauty of it. But that's it. I don't want this video to be too long. And some of the other questions and things, I'll kind of put personal notes on the site, on the messenger.